Alright, Wicked fans, buckle up because we need to talk about Wicked Part 2. We can all agree this movie was, no joke, one of the biggest cinematic events of last year. From its jaw dropping visuals to its killer cast, it basically set the bar for what a musical adaptation could be. So let's dive into everything we know about Part 2. I've got some exciting stuff. First things first, let's remind ourselves where we left off in Wicked Part 1. We see Elphaba and Glinda have a conflict about their moral values. Elphaba, our misunderstood hero, has just gone full anti-wizard rebel after witnessing the fascist oppression of the animals of Oz and left the country in chaos. Glinda, on the other hand, is torn between her friendship with Elphaba and her allegiance to the wizard, still picking up the pieces of their broken friendship, all while trying to keep up appearances as the good girl. Even though Glinda feels sympathy for the animals suffering, she struggles to empathize with them in the same way that Elphaba does. So this leads to their separation at the end of the movie, leaving us desperate for more. So yeah, there's a lot to unpack, and that's exactly why part 2 is so important. If you're wondering why there are 2 parts to this movie, I made another video about it, so don't miss out on that. Now let's talk about Wicked Part 2. We know the title has officially been revealed as Wicked for Good. The news came through an Instagram post with the caption, "You will be changed." I'm so excited, they set the bar so high, and I hope they can live up to expectations. The first movie did in fact change me, so I have really high hopes for the second installment. What do you say? Do you think the movie was as magical and mystical as the Broadway show?
I'll teach you the proper poise when you talk to boys, little ways to...
So what is going to be in Wicked Part 2? In the musical, Act 2 begins with the song Thank Goodness, primarily performed by Glinda and Madame Morrible.
No, I couldn't be happier.
The song marks Glinda dropping out of Shiz University and her transformation into Glinda the Good, a figure designed to inspire hope in the midst of Oz's growing fear of the Wicked Witch of the West. Glinda also reveals that she and Fiyero, now a captain in the wizard's army, are officially engaged. Also, it is confirmed that there's a time jump between 2 acts. Bowen Yang said, right when we pick up, Glinda is in this very front-facing position. Fanny and Chen Chen are at her side still, but a lot is in motion. The world has literally changed, and the landscape of it is very different. There's this campaign against this one person that they're like the reason for all the problems in the world. I was actually expecting there to be a time gap as well, considering the Broadway play. I love how the film is going in the same direction as the theater show. What do you think? And then, of course, there's the growing romance between Elphaba and Fiyero. In the stage musical, Fiyero's relationship with Elphaba transforms dramatically, starting with a basic flirty chat that grows into something much deeper. If you watched the theater show, then you know in Act 2, Fiyero joined the wizard's army not out of loyalty to the wizard but to actively search for Elphaba. When Elphaba and Fiyero reunite, he refuses to turn her over to the wizard. Instead, he helps her escape, choosing to leave with her and abandon his life with Glinda. This drives a split between the two. In Part 2, we're gonna see Elphaba and Glinda facing even more complicated and emotional choices. The tension between them is going to reach new heights. Is there hope for their friendship, or has the betrayal run too deep? We know from the Wicked stage musical that their relationship is one of the central emotional arcs in the story, and it's clear that Part 2 will dig even deeper into that bond. After Elphaba runs away with Fiyero, Glinda, in total rage, suggests to Madame Morrible that she spread a rumor about Nessa's safety to lure Elphaba in. But wait, do you think Madame Morrible would stop there? Of course not. She actually takes out Nessa. She makes Dorothy's house fall on her. How exaggerated, right? This incident kicks off some serious tension later on, sparking a major conflict between Dorothy and Elphaba over the magical shoes that Elphaba gave to Nessa. The shoes were meant to make her walk, but now that Nessa is gone, Dorothy ends up with them, and Elphaba is not too happy about it. Talking about Dorothy, the actress who plays her is still not revealed. I even doubt we see her in the movie. In a Reddit post, someone said, I have seen a lot of speculation on who could be playing Dorothy in Wicked Part 2. That is, if Dorothy's face is even shown or if she's even played by an actress at all for Part 2. The actress I have seen speculated to play Dorothy probably the most at the moment is Alicia Ware. I don't know if she's the actress, but someone commented on this post saying, I think they'll do what they did with the stage show and just have her be off stage. I think the best we'll get is her from behind and maybe some sobs. I think adding her into the story would take focus away from the story we're already following. What do you think? Returning to the main plot, Madame Morrible's plan works out exactly like how they thought. After losing Nessa in a devastating way, Elphaba goes to see for herself what happened. She's determined to find out the truth. But when she arrives, things get way worse than she expected. As the wizard's guards close in, trying to capture Elphaba, Fiyero swoops in to rescue her. Cue the tension. Elphaba manages to escape, but Fiyero is now so lucky. The guards catch him. In a desperate attempt to save Fiyero, Elphaba tries to cast a protection spell hoping to shield him from the guards. But oops, things don't go as planned. Instead of protecting him, the spell backfires and transforms Fiyero into a scarecrow. Yep, you heard that right. Now Fiyero's stuck in a new form. In the end, Elphaba fakes her own death to leave Oz with Fiyero, thanks to Dorothy's help. Meanwhile, Glinda uncovers the shocking truth. The wizard is actually Elphaba's father. Talk about a plot twist, right? Furious at the lies and manipulation, she gets Madame Morrible arrested for her role in all the chaos. She also kicks the wizard out of Oz, stripping him of his power and takes control of the land herself. Now that we know the plot for the second movie, what about the release date and the trailer? Well, unfortunately, we don't have an official trailer yet for Wicked for Good, but that hasn't stopped the hype from reaching a fever pitch. The anticipation is through the roof, and let me tell you, when that trailer finally drops, it's going to break the internet. As for the release date, thank God we know it, it's November 21st, so we don't have to wait for years between the two movies. Are you as excited as me? Because I've been counting days for Act 2 since watching the first one. Do you think it will live up to the hype? Don't forget to comment what you think and watch this video to learn more about Wicked 2.